something I've been wanting to watch that basically caused a large kerfuffle in Trump land. It caused a lot of backbiting and screaming, wailing and gnashing of teeth in the White House. And it was the interview on ABC of Howard Lutnick. And I was having trouble and this might be a sleep thing. I was having trouble finding the clip, and I realized I was searching for a Lutnick. I was it was like typing in, and you don't want to. Luckily, I had safe search on and blur image, so I'm okay. But that's why I'm like, why is that not showing up on YouTube? Oh, because I'm. Anyway, so hi chat room, welcome to the show. How are you? Good to see you. Hello. Anyone else in here a big Titanic freak? Tonight is the anniversary. You're gonna watch the live real time video later on Titanic and honor the fantastic. Howie Lutnick is a dick. Yes. Can I just say that I can't get on a cruise ship without thinking that every cruise ship that's around right now is like whatever 6 times the size of the Titanic. It would be adorable parked next to these things. The one we did for the Monsters of Rock cruise was 17 stories high. It's nuts. I thought his name was not like it. No, it's his occupation. But here we go. Let's check this out. I want to see this. I'm sure you do too. Oh, come on. Why would you switch channels on me is the crazy thing. Hold on. Let me grab this and features and go to here. I want to keep this display capture. Go to that. The tertiary. Does that do it? Nope. That's me. This is it. There we go. Why would you reset? Why would you do that? It's always the same monitor. Why would you don't have to flick my switches. All right. Hello, Substack. Hello, Instagram. Enjoy. By the way, if you're watching on Substack and Instagram and I point like this, just pretend I'm pointing like this because it's very weird because I'm in the Instagram and Substack thing. It's vertical. So I'm technically under this video and I feel like I should be going, well, but well, you just deal. You know what I'm talking about. When I go like that, just pretend. All right. Now, semiconductors from China will face a special focus type of tariff, says Lutnick. Here we go.
Commerce Howard Lutnick. Secretary Lutnick,
Whoops.
Thank you for being with us this morning. I really appreciate your time. So let's start with that news.
It's my pleasure.
That would make one of you.
Let's start with that news late Friday.
No, lose was the right word, Jonathan Carl. Right out of just Freudian slips right out of the gate. Excellent.
Exemption on electronics, smartphones, laptop computers, and the like. What's the thinking? Why the exemption?
Oh, hold on. Wait. Jonathan, you're in a lot of trouble if you presume there is any thinking. You must establish that there was any thinking before you say what was the thinking, if indeed it did occur, which I would argue it did not. A panic ensued, and it was more fight or flight. You don't really think when you're cornered by a bunch of rabid wolverines. You know what I mean? You're just going on instinct.
Well, if you remember, over the past couple of months, President Trump has called out pharmaceuticals and semiconductors and autos. He called them sector tariffs. And those are not.
No, he did not. He did not. No. He did not call them sector tariffs. He's got too busy talking about beautiful, big, beautiful. And then the minute he talked about anything that we don't make in the country, he blamed everybody but himself, as if he wasn't a former president as well as a current president. Notice he didn't fix any of this shit, 5 years ago or 6 years ago or 7 years ago.
Available for negotiation.
By the way, hi, Twitch. Throw in all the emotes you want on this because none of us need to see this dickhead's face.
They are just going to be part of making sure we reshore the core national security items that.
Yeah, you mean all the stuff Biden already did. Jesus Christ, man. They already started the funding on pharmaceutical reshoring. They already started the funding on chip reshoring. They already started the funding on fucking steel. Everything Trump is claiming right now is all shit that was set in motion last year. It's just when you pass a bill, it takes a while to get it up on its feet. And he's just taking advantage of that.
need to be made in this country. We need to make medicine in this country.
Great. But if you need medicine right now and we don't make that medicine in this country, tariffing the fuck out of it right now doesn't help people who are sick. So you need a gradual plan long term to slowly, through carrot and stick, coax the manufacturing back to the United States, or at least within USMCA in Canada or Mexico, or a friendly trade partner, you tit.
Learned it during COVID. We need to make it in this country. We need to make semiconductors, because if we don't own semiconductors,
yeah, we've all read the CHIPS Act, fuckhead.
remember, virtually all semiconductors are made now in Taiwan, and they're finished in China.
No, they aren't. The big ones are made there. The very difficult, the 4 nanometer ones, and like 5 and lower. They're made in Taiwan, and they're made in South Korea, and they're made here, and they're made in Northern Europe. The rest of them, like the low end chips, are printed like fucking flapjacks wherever.
That we reshore them, and so the president is going to.
Yes, all the factories in Phoenix. This is going to annoy the fuck out of me, isn't it? It is. It just is.
Out with his policies on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. They're going to be outside the reciprocal tariffs, and he was just making sure everyone understood that all of these products are outside the reciprocal tariffs, and they are going to have their own separate way of being considered.
But
right, because we can't make them, we need them, and without them, people die. So making them more expensive just to punish the companies into coming here. In the process, by the way, again, if you took your factory and you dismantled the motherfucker, wherever it is, and you brought it into the United States and you built one just like it, and you staffed it just like it is right now, just one for fucking one, it would cost you $6 billion in 5 years. It wouldn't even be high. Thank you. She's bringing me coffee because clearly I need to be awake. Thank you. How was your workout? All right. Yeah? You messed up? Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, it's like this thing's getting better. Took a long time. You're going to actually take care of it instead of being a dude. You're going to be an asshole about it like I was. Yeah. Right. Just for a shorter period of time. Right. Yeah. My jerk window is longer than yours. That's clear. Love you. If I can rub anything later, you just let me know. Just saying. Excuse us. Shut up, Lutnick. Anyways, all right. He brought me a coffee because nothing will knock me out right now like caffeine. I swear. Yeah. All right. Here we go. By the way, again, if you built your factory here, it'd take you 5 years. You're better off just keeping it over there, paying the tariffs, having people bitch about the prices, never having to move it, and then counting on the next administration to either give you a better incentive to do it or never have to do it at all. Just dumb.
wait a minute. I'm asking you about the exemption, not about. I mean, the notice that went out Friday night saying that electronics, a wide range of electronics, and
anything with a chip in it. Gee, thank God that doesn't cover like 80% of toys.
Smartphones, including components used to make microchips, that these are now exempt from the reciprocal tariffs. Why that move?
Well,
They're not just exempt from the reciprocal tariffs, I would remind you. They're zeroed out. They don't even seem to have the 10% tariff on them. I don't even know they bothered to write it in. They just went, oh, shit, scratch. And that was it. Like Alibaba was selling everything at I showed you guys last week, like at a 10% or a 20% discount because they were checking on stuff that, that when it was originally a 10% or a 25% tariff when they were talking about it, they just basically undercut the price so they could sell it and it maintained the price people would pay for it for the, until it blew up into the 170 umpteen, whatever the shit he was doing. But once he scratched those out, even that 10% that they were taking off is gone. They're just selling them at normal price now.
Those products are going to be part of the semiconductor sectoral tariffs, which
Oh my fucking God. These are going to be in the coordinated, and we have a atmosphere wherein the semiconductors are all collected into a special zone. We're going to put the semiconductors in a zone. I feel like you're just making this up like before he came on the air.
coming. So you're going to see this week, there'll be a register in the Federal Registry. There'll be a notice put out. That is different types of work. So we're going to do that. We did that in autos. The president's going to do it for pharmaceuticals, and he's going to do it for semiconductors. So all those products are going to come under semiconductor.
Okay. Part of the reason they did it under autos is because they just went, what's an auto? Everything with 4 fucking wheels. And they were like, oh shit, that makes tractors and stuff. It's too broad. We got to narrow the definition because we accidentally made it everything. And the people at the ports of entry are like, all right, any auto, which includes anything, including trucks, cars, anything that could be extrapolated as a truck or a car, like all these, like check 1, check 2. Yes. Chip.
And they're going to have a special focus type of tariff to make sure that those products get reshored. We need to have semiconductors, we need to have chips, and we need to have flat panels. We need to have these things made in
Flat panels? You mean television sets? So this is their solution. By the way, what he kind of means is monitor. We need monitors for these fucking things. And most monitor companies make TVs, and between LED and OLED, these are the 2 primary that you see, and whatever. For consumer-based monitors. This asshole's like, oh fuck, we're not gonna have any computers in like 3 weeks if we keep this shit up. Good Lord.
We can't be reliant on Southeast Asia for all of the.
Yes, we can. We just can't rely on China. We don't. Japan didn't do anything to us. South Korea didn't do anything to us. Vietnam didn't do anything to us. The Philippines weren't fucking around. Cambodia hasn't hurt us in any way. Laos doesn't have it out for us, you fucking weirdo. It is singular to China. Can I? All right, hold on. Can I just... This is why we should have had TPP. Son of a bitch. Not that Trump wouldn't have thrown it out the fucking window as soon as he came in, but the whole point of TPP was to act as a wall against Chinese hegemony in manufacturing in Southeast Asia. That was the point. It was like a multilateral trade agreement with all the other countries in Asia that ain't China. The ones that were being stiff-armed by the Chinese economy because they don't have the population and they couldn't get on their feet fast enough because China would always undercut them before they got a chance to, or the countries we already have a relationship with that we trust that build the bigger and better stuff like South Korea, like Taiwan. That's what TPP would have been. And everybody was so, like, thumb up their ass about NAFTA that they were just burned on all trade agreements that it became a bad talking point. And it had been in place, we would not be in this situation now. We wouldn't. We would have already transitioned a lot of the, like, phone manufacturing and shit like that out of China a long time ago. We would have dropped, like, the need for Chinese slave cotton before they had even pushed into, like, the Uyghur territories with the ferocity that they did. But everybody was like, fucking trade agreements. I know it's trade agreements. This is all just big business, and they're trying to fuck us and jobs and blah, blah, blah. The jobs that would have been lost to TPP would have been lost from China. And all the other countries that they would have gone to would have been reasonable size economies with a like a sane view of their position in the world. There's no point where, like, post World War II, Japan is going to go, all right, we're going to take over this joint. They don't have the military might. They have no reason to do it. They're not, you know, driven by the racism of the Germans that they were going to split the earth between Asians and whites and all that shit. That's all dead now. That's gone. The South Koreans aren't going to finally go, aha, now we'll build up, we'll wipe out everybody else in TPP, and then we'll steal jobs from the United States. And like China was singular in that attitude. But these motherfuckers think everybody looks alike. Like, I really wish it was about like their concern about it's like the Chinese hegemony and manufacturing spreading to a bunch of little countries and having the same problem, but you can't because, again, diversity makes it that they have to compete. It's not like you know, China has basically a monopoly on large manufacturing in Southeast Asia, which TPP would have taken away. I know, not my business, not my business. Oh, married only a year and already this bastard has a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Things that operate for us. So what he's doing is he's saying they're exempt from the reciprocal tariffs, but they're included in the semiconductor tariffs, which are coming in probably.
Jesus Christ. They're not included with the tariffs right now, zeroed out. But they're going to be in the ones that are coming up that are specific to stuff based on whatever the fuck we decide later. We think, trust me, bro. Oh my God. Just please. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Howard Lutnick.
Oh, hello there.
What the ever-loving shit.
A month or two. So these are coming soon. You shouldn't think.
A month or two? These are coming soon? No, they're fucking not. You're not going to get commitments for people to build a factory in 8 months or 10 months or just like, oh, fuck, we got to move everything over here. We're just going to pack our boxes up and ship everything out of the country. And then we'll find workers in the United States where we're almost at full like employment to fill these factories. Fuck it, we'll just automate them quickly with robots that can't do it yet, but whatever. And we'll just make the best chips in the world in Arizona with nobody in a couple of months. And then we'll click the tariffs on. What do we have? Was that a correct answer? No, Howard, that was, you're wrong again. No rice-a-roni for you.
This is really outside of it. Really think of it as being included in the semiconductor space.
Fuck. They're not excluded from the tariffs we're putting on now. They're included in the tariffs we haven't put on. Fuck me. It's so stupid.
Much like pharmaceuticals, these require special.
No, not much like pharmaceuticals. No, not much, because you don't need a fucking lithograph that could uses multiple lasers near quantum level technology to imprint something. It's a chemical process. You fucking press them into a thing. You can move pharmaceuticals here faster than you can move semiconductors, and we need the semiconductors sooner. We can get pharmaceuticals from other places. And there's another thing. Fuck me. Okay, chat room. So follow me on this. Right now, we get, and everybody will talk about this, the maggots always talk about, we get 90% of our antibiotics from China or something at one point. This was around COVID. This was the talking point. 90% of our antibiotics from there. Well, obviously, then we get the other 10% from somewhere else. We either make them ourselves or we get them from fucking Canada or Europe, right? So why don't we get them all from there? Because they're cheaper. Oh. Okay. So we get 90% of them from there because they're cheaper. We don't make them here. Not enough anyways. But if we put a giant tariff on those pharmaceuticals coming out of China, the price of Chinese pharmaceuticals will go up or be equal, which is what you're supposed to use tariffs for most of the time. But we still don't have enough that we make here. Where are we going to get them? Europe and Canada. Why in the ever-loving shit would we tariff our trade partners if we need as much production as they can stand? They're going to have to ramp up production to meet our demand to replace China's at a price point that's close. And that means if you tariff them over them at all, you're going to raise the price on top of the R&D that they have to do to expand their factories and do all that kind of stuff. We get most of our aspirin, our like acetaminophen, our ibuprofen from China and India because it's cheap, not because we lack the capability of making it. That's why there are like 8 different kinds of acetaminophen and 10 different kinds of ibuprofen and mixes of the two in every CVS and Walgreens on every fucking third block of every city in the entire fucking country. To sell you a bottle that, unless you're acutely ill, will last you half a year.
And the president is on it.
So
Okay, by the way, look at this man's face. I'm sorry you have to, but this is not the face of somebody who thinks the president is, quote, on it. This motherfucker, as it turns out, isn't even on it himself, unless it's crack. He's not, he doesn't feel like the president's on it, and he doesn't know quite what the president wants, and he's basically out here spinning like plates with bullshit on them. That's why he's got that look on his face.
saying that the big tariffs on things like smartphones and laptops, iPhones, all those iPhones built in China, that those tariffs are temporarily off, but they're going to be coming right back on in another form in a month or so? Or what are you saying?
Correct. That's
And that was the line that fucked the market, by the way.
That's right. Semiconductors and pharmaceuticals will have a tariff model in order to encourage them to reshore, to be built in America. We need our medicines and we need semiconductors and our electronics to be built in America. We can't be beholden and rely upon foreign countries for fundamental things that we need. We can't be relying on China for fundamental things that we need.
Right. But we could rely on Europe or our other partners in the world, or fucking Canada, or even Mexico, for fuck's sake. But you wanted to kick shit in everybody's eye all at once.
And our semiconductors need to be built in America. Donald Trump is on it. He's calling.
Nope. He said it a second time. That is definitely, that is definitely a sign that he does not believe that Trump is on it. By the way, he's so not on it that Trump was still recovering from his ass poking on Friday.
So you should understand these are included in the semiconductor tariffs that are coming, and the pharmaceuticals are coming. Those 2 areas are coming in the next month or 2. So this is not
Month or 2. How are you supposed to plan for that? What are you supposed to do? I mean, you just punted the other ones. What if it takes a giant shit and he's got to punt these too? And they're like, why would we invest in or change our business model if he's just going to punt it? I mean, look at the fucking TikTok trade. The fact that he still allows TikTok to operate in the United States against both Congress and the Supreme Court, there's not going to be a sale of fucking TikTok.
a permanent sort of exemption. He's just clarifying that these are not available to be negotiated away by countries. These are things that are national security that we need to be made in America.
Well, here's a good idea. If we need them to be made, carrot will do that better than stick. That's what the CHIPS Act did. It gave funding and it gave loan guarantees for companies to do that in the United States. Seriously, can't stop laughing. You think I know that? Of course I know that. I know that. That's exactly who he is. He's Nathan Firm, whatever, from Martin Short's character. I know that. Of course, they're going to be on there. I mean, they're not going to be on there. They're not now, but there are going to be at some point. They'll be on there. I know that.
The president's made it clear he wants negotiations with China. Have you had any conversations with your Chinese counterpart?
By the way, Jonathan Karl looks both confused and disgusted. Welcome to We're All Jonathan Karl.
Been anything between you and the Chinese?
I think we've had soft, the way I would say it is soft entrees, through.
Ugh. Shut up. Soft entrees? What do you mean? Like steamed dumplings instead of fucking fried? I do prefer them crispy sometimes, although xiaolongbao and like soup, in general, I like steamed dumplings better. They don't have to be crispy. Occasionally pot stickers can be, never mind.
Intermediate.
I haven't eaten either. No sleep, no food. Ugh.
And those kind of comments, but we all expect that the president of the United States and President Xi of China will work this out.
No, we don't. No, and don't say we all. Maybe say we in the administration, because the rest of us are. There's no fucking way you're gonna work this out. Are you nuts? No, you're not gonna work this out. It's a trade war. They don't give a fuck. He's gone all in. The Chinese leadership is too easily shamed. They get embarrassed easily. And if they're not treated with kid gloves, it's just a fucking war right now. He's not coming over there. There's not going to be a fucking Kim Jong-un reach around.
I'm completely confident, as is he, that this will be worked out in a
Ugh. Yeah, because the president is on it.
Thoughtful and effective way for the United States of America. I mean, Donald Trump has the ball. I want him to have it. He's the right person with it. He knows how to play this game. He knows how to deal with President Xi.
So what you're saying is, I don't know what the fuck he's got the ball. I'm just, hey man, I'm just over here blocking my guy. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I wasn't there when they discussed this play.
This is the right person for the right role, and I am confident this is going to work out with China. Yes, is it in a tough spot now? Of course it is, but you'll see. All of that energy.
You'll see pretty soon, in the very near future, in the not too distant future, sort of, and stuff like right after his healthcare plan comes out.
Sort of decline, and we'll end up in a perfectly reasonable place with China.
It'll what? Hold on. It'll sort of what?
Yes, is it in a tough spot now? Of course it is, but you'll see. All of that energy will sort of decline, and we'll end up in a perfectly reasonable place with China. I'm confident.
No, that energy will decline. What you think that the Chinese anger towards this, or his entrenchment, will just run out of fucking steam?
But can I ask you, the president's called President Xi a friend. He said the Chinese are proud people. Can you explain to me what the vice
No, he can't.
president was saying not long ago?
Oh, this is the peasant remark.
When he referred to the Chinese people as peasants. Let me.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
The sound so you can hear it.
We borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture. That is not a recipe for economic prosperity. It's not a recipe for low prices, and it's not a recipe for good jobs in the United States of America.
Wow, that's sounds even more racist when you hear it than when you read it. Like you just, yeah. I'm surprised he, now I know why he wasn't made Secretary of State. He was given a, kind of a neutered job like the vice presidency.
President go off message there? I mean, he's calling the Chinese peasants. This is something that we heard the
proud peasants, though. Yeah, Jonathan, you can be a proud peasant.
Chinese say was ignorant and disrespectful. I mean, I haven't heard Donald Trump talk that way about the Chinese?
No, I'm just going to step back and really just leave the vice president to let him defend himself. He knows what he meant, and we all know what he meant, which is
Well, if you know what he meant, then you're going to defend him right now.
that, the Chinese have basically attacked America and ripped us off by undercutting our businesses, by
Yeah, that's not. I don't think that's what he said. I think I think he called them peasants, and the idea that they're a country of peasants that borrow money, using the fact that they work cheap as leverage.
government of China assists their businesses to undercut our businesses, drive them out of business, and take that manufacturing over to China. It's happened in pharmaceuticals. It's happened in so many industries. We feel it, steel and aluminum, so many. So the idea is, if the government of China is behind their businesses, imagine if the government of America,
Oh, you mean like if they, quote, picked winners and losers, and if they, like, during, I don't know, I'm spitballing here. Follow me on this nut. Like, what if there was an electric car company, and 2008 we had a massive crash, and the incoming president, a Democrat, didn't want to see the big three fail, even though Donald Trump was fine with that happening, and so he worked with Congress to create a bailout package to protect them from a damaged economy they had nothing to do with damaging, for the record. And in that, in an attempt to deal with environmental issues that were, long important to Democrats, he put in support for electric car manufacturers, and that those electric car manufacturers, specifically one or two that were really helped by it, wouldn't even exist today if it hadn't been for that specific infusion of money. They would have failed a long time ago. They would have made niche cars and then vanished. Like that, like if they had the government behind them, like that.
States of America was backing your business. I mean, you'd be a killer in the world. So
You mean like if you never had to pay taxes or something? Like you never ever had to pay, like if you paid $795 in taxes on millions and billions of dollars that that changed hands, you'd be a killer, as it were. I mean, obviously you don't mean like, I don't know, a helicopter flying back from Atlantic City towards New Jersey, uh, failing, and your business partners are in it.
what the Chinese have been doing. And finally, Donald Trump is standing up to it, saying, look, in order to make it fair for American businesses, we have to put a tariff on China to level the playing field, to take their government out of being a competitor. We need to have medicines built in America. We need to.
Yes, we need to build our medicines. We need carpenters who can make insulin. We need plumbers who can make suppositories, obviously.
Those products here in America, because we need them. We can't have a war and be asking China to send over penicillin. It's not real.
They don't. We wouldn't have to ask them. We would just buy it from Europe or India. We get penicillin from China because it's cheap, not because it's the only fucking source in the world.
We can't rely on other countries for semiconductors. We can't rely on other countries for steel and aluminum. These are national security issues, and Donald Trump is going to make sure they're reassured. We have the capacity to do it. If you've seen, an auto plant these days, these are beautiful plants.
Yeah. You know what makes them beautiful? They're completely devoid of people.
These new modern plants are amazing, and the jobs they create for our American workers are amazing jobs, and that's what Donald Trump is.
Yeah, both of them.
On bringing those jobs and those factories back to America and employing American workers. He's on it, and he's going to bring them back.
He said on it a third time. All right, that's the kiss of death. I mean, motherfucker. Um, George says matter on Substack says matter of fact there were clips of Elon being questioned about accepting government money given his libertarian views back in 2009. Exactly. Patreons assemble. Curious question for anyone. When does afternoon end and evening begin? Thanks, Brian. When does afternoon end and evening begins? At dusk. Dusk is the soft transition period between the two. So, and I have to say, I think it was working out, but I think I look pretty good for somebody who hasn't slept hardly at all. Just saying. Also, wait, I need to show you something. Yeah. This is what Substack, like my Substack freezes. And it, on an image, because it doesn't play live video back to me, so it doesn't use bandwidth. So this was the image I was getting. Like I'm trying to like bat Howard Lutnick away. This is good stuff. Yeah. We're the peasants now, yeah. Well, yeah. Go dusk yourself. Oh, thanks, Alexa. Nah, that's not true. I always look good, but I don't look great when I'm that wiped out. Yes, the Hellfire stance. Yes. Yes, I'm standing, and that's all you really need. Okay, so let's finish this guy out. God damn. And again, look at his fucking face. I'm telling you, they know they've shit the bed. They know. They fucking know. They are so happy that Hegseth hasn't been questioned by Congress yet about Signalgate, and that Stephen Miller's stirring up all this racist bullshit about the deportees, that they figure this is a battle they can win on messaging to draw attention away from this shit while they go, were we ever talking about tariffs? I don't even fucking know. Does anybody remember that tariff shit? I don't know. Remember that? That's been a fit, man. I don't know. By the way, can I just say I had my hair back like this in Mad Mardigan, which is what I'm going to call it from now on, in honor of Val Kilmer, the chat room. This is what when you tie your hair back and you got a ponytail back here. This is the Mad Mardigan. But anyways, I had my hair like this, and we came out of like Nash Vegas, like the strip in Nashville where we played John Bon Jovi's place last night. That's where we did the comedy show, which was hilarious. And I have video from it. I'll show you at some point. But the club is just full of pictures of him, and it's great. It's like he consulted my decorator, and he, we walk out of the bar though, and there's like a bar downstairs. By the way, I would love to fucking play this place with my own band, not with Nerd Halen, but like my own band, because the stage that they have in the front to save space is like multi-tiered. So the drummer's here, the bass player's here, the guitar player's here, and the singer's out front in this thing, so that they don't have to have a giant big stage like this. It's taller. It looks really cool. It looks like a level in fucking Rock Band. It's genius. But we walked out of there onto the street, and just fucking drunks everywhere. It's amazing. Like, I don't know what the hell. Like downtown Nashville is insane. Just bar hopping. It reminds me of like the row of bars in Pittsburgh on a Friday night, but like every night. Yeah, for 0-1 to play. But oh shit. So I walk out of there, and I'm just waiting because Craig Gass is going to give me a ride back to my hotel, because I rode there with him, and then he vanished because apparently I don't know, he had something to do, and then I found him again. Courtney was going to drive me, so I'm waiting for her to come out, and then he shows up, and I'm just standing on the sidewalk with my backpack, getting ready to go back after the show, and two girls walk up, and they're just like, "You have a mullet? I have a mullet. I have a mullet. I have a mullet. I want to get a picture. Give me a picture. Sarah, give me a picture of a mullet. We got mullet." I'm like, "I don't have a mullet. What are you doing? This is a Mad Mardigan, baby. This isn't cut this way. I'm not, Billy Ray Cyrus." And she's like, "Yeah, that's not a mullet." I'm like, "I told you it's not a mullet." She's like, "I feel cheated." I'm like, "You're drunk. Please leave." And then she walks away, and she's got the top of her hair pulled back on the top. I'm like, "You don't have a mullet either, dummy." It's like I had a mullet battle. on the streets of Nashville last night, and I'm proud of it. Okay, back to the ridiculousness.
Also said there's going to be a transition cost, transition problems. I mean, we are going to see higher prices in America as well. It's not like you can open a factory tomorrow to build iPhones or to make sneakers, shoes. I mean, we buy a lot of shoes in this country. 99% of them are made elsewhere. I mean, are we going to become a...
And 100% of LeBron's shoes that he sells are made in China. It's interesting how he just shits on Taiwan and without blinking. Weird. Air Jordans for life.
Cobblers again? I mean, what? This is going to mean higher prices, isn't it?
I mean, have you seen, I don't necessarily think so.
I don't necessarily think so.
Oh, hello there.
Yeah.
Idea is that we can
The idea. No, man. We're not at the idea stage. We're at implementation, you dumb motherfucker.
manufacture here in America. As I said, I saw Panasonic, the battery company, right? Japanese company.
Yeah, that's why when I think of Panasonic, I think of batteries.
An amazing factory in Kansas, which they're opening now. They put it in the ground when Donald Trump was the president. It's just finishing now. 4,000 new jobs built from what they made deals with the community colleges nearby and all the local community and the local university. They trained people for this. 4,000 high-tech jobs in Kansas. That is what's coming back to America.
Awesome. You know what? I'm inspired, Nutlick. Let's check that out. Let's see. Panasonic battery factory, Kansas. I bet it's just like regular D batteries, for your 9 volts and that kind of stuff, and has nothing to do with this bullshit Green New Deal crap that, they put, oh shit, what do you know? It's a fucking EV car battery site. It's electric car batteries. You know that electric car mandate that didn't exist, that you got rid of, that basically all the funding for this thing came from? Backed by Panasonic Connect's 20 plus years of manufacturing execution system expertise, MES. Syncora DMP is an adaptable, data-driven digital manufacturing solution designed to address the unique challenges of EV electric vehicle battery production. You know those things Trump shit on all during the fucking campaign? Panasonic Connect. That's what they call it. There we go. This is the smart factories. Okay, there we go. This is what they're making. There you go. And let's see, $4 billion located in DeSoto, Kansas. Sorry. Also, I'm gonna let's listen to what he said again, real quick.
Going to see what they made deals with the community colleges nearby.
Hold on.
They put it in the ground when the idea is that we can manufacture here in America. As I said, I saw Panasonic, the battery company.
Oh, yeah.
Japanese company. They built an amazing factory in Kansas,
an amazing factory in Kansas. Battery factory, Kansas. Amazing. And when?
Now they put it in the ground.
They put it in the... You mean they broke ground?
When Donald Trump was the president, it's just...
When Donald Trump was the president.
Now, 4,000 new jobs built.
What do you think, guys? What do you think the fucking chances are that, first of all, EV battery factory in Kansas to be powered by coal, at least temporarily, October 4th, 2023. Key takeaways. A new 2023. A new Panasonic EV battery plant in Kansas is forcing a utility to keep a coal plant scheduled for closure open. The battery plant will consume enormous amounts of power and must have reliable and affordable electricity. The $4 billion plant is slated to receive $6.8 billion from Biden's climate bill, the Inflation Reduction Act. A new electric vehicle battery factory, 2023, in Kansas needs so much energy that the state is delaying the retirement of a coal plant to make sure the facility has enough power. The $4 billion Panasonic electric vehicle factory is located in DeSoto, Kansas. Panasonic broke ground on the facility last year, 2022. 2022. It didn't start when fucking Trump was president, and it's not just making batteries. It's making electric vehicle batteries, and it was paid for by the Infrastructure Act and the rescue package. Part of the Green New Scam. This motherfucker is crediting the Green New Scam as a win. Son of a bitch. Like, yeah, seriously, CSL. Like, as soon as he fucking said that, I was like,
man, I'm tired of being right.
like, this, what? No, there were no battery facilities that he knows of, that I know of, that's showing up anywhere, that broke ground while Trump was fucking president to make EV batteries. Good God. What an asshole.
What they made deals with the community colleges nearby and all the local community and the local
Yeah, we know. It was paid for by Joe fucking Biden, you weirdo.
university. They trained people for this 4,000 high-tech jobs in Kansas. That
Yeah. Thanks, AOC. What are you talking about?
is what's coming back to America. You're going to see that production, that kind of high-tech factory is going to produce things here at very reasonable prices. So I think this is going to work.
A 15-pound lithium-ion battery holds about the same amount of energy as a pound of oil. To produce that battery requires 7,000 pounds of rock and dirt to obtain the minerals that are needed for the manufacture. The average EV battery weighs about 1,000 pounds. That's the array of them, not just a single. The mining and factory processing needed to produce an electric vehicle results in a lot more carbon dioxide emissions than gas-powered car. Yeah, but over its life, it mitigates it out. It's just dumb. So electric vehicles have been driven around, have to be driven around 50,000 to 60,000 miles before there is a net reduction in carbon dioxide emissions. And since most cars last 100,000 to 150,000 miles, you get 100,000 miles. Right. The federal government requires batteries to be warranted for at least 8 years or 100,000 miles. Right. The Biden administration thought about this shit. After that, if the batteries need replacing, more energy demand, blah, blah, blah. Besides the energy, and this is, by the way, this is from the Institute for Energy Research, which is one of these like right-wing think tanks. And even they're admitting this was built in 23, broke ground in 22. Hold on one second. I'll show you another one. DeSoto, Kansas. In spring 2025, because, man, right after he fucking got elected, Panasonic Energy North America will open a 300-acre manufacturing facility in DeSoto in Astra Enterprise Park. Yeah, here you go. When did they break ground? What did we say? When they put it in the ground? When did they put it in the fucking ground? You absolute dickhead. Panasonic Energy breaks ground on EV battery factory in Kansas in 2022. Thanks, Joe Biden. Like, this is fucking embarrassing. Like, how do you, Jonathan Carl, please, where's your producer? Why can I not be in your ear right now? I mean, maybe he brings it up. Maybe in the last couple of minutes, he goes, hang on a second. That thing didn't open in 2017, you dumb motherfucker.
Plus, our farmers are going to finally have access to the world's markets. You know,
Really? That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna our farmers will finally have access. Like we're what? North fucking Korea? Dumbass. Like we're fucking Ukraine trying to produce grain while Russia's bombing the shit out of us. Guess what, dickhead? We can sell it to the world markets. Holy shit. One of the big markets is, let's see. Oh, go ahead. Get out. Finally, Xi Jinping receives flowers from a young girl in Iowa during a 2012 trip to the state. Rick Kimberly doesn't. I'm Edward Kimberly, the bastard son of Elma. All right. Still doesn't know quite how the future leader of China ended up visiting his farm outside Des Moines. In 2012, Xi Jinping was vice president and on tour of the U.S. when he showed a particular interest in the agricultural areas. An advance party made its way to Mr. Kimberly's farm in Iowa, which grows corn and soybeans. Officials told him that no one, not even Mr. Xi, should climb on the machinery. I suppose they were worried about someone might slip and fall, but the officials underestimated the hands-on enthusiasm of the most important member of their delegation. I saw Mr. Xi look at that John Deere tractor, and I asked him if he wanted to climb on. Of course he did. We were speaking through a translator, but he didn't even wait for the translation. He understood me right away and went right to the tractor. The health and safety fears turned out to be unfounded. Xi was both delighted and uninjured in his ride on the farm equipment. It proved to be another chapter in Chinese president's curious ties to the largely rural Midwestern state. Xi first traveled to Iowa in 1985 as part of an agricultural delegation from China's Hebei province. He stayed in Muscatine, a town of about 24,000 people circled by farmland in the Mississippi River. The People's Daily, the Chinese Communist Party's official newspaper, noted that the delegation visited elderly people in the local community, attended a birthday party, and had 6 interviews with local media outlets and attended 5 welcome banquets held by the U.S. side. I thought he was a very nice, focused, polite man. Eleanor Dvorak, who hosted Mr. Xi at her home, said during his stay. He said, fucking Xi Jinping stayed at a lady's house in Iowa in fucking 1985 when he was like the regional governor of Hebei. Finally, you dumb motherfucker. Now I know why there's such a firestorm in the White House. Like, the fuck is he talking about?
Have never had the opportunity to sell corn in India. So what's going to happen is as they...
Oh my God, how much corn do Indians eat? I'm not kidding. Like, dude, you've been eating too much fusion Indian food.
More and more products, prices will come down.
I mean, Mr.
More
Secretary,
gets lower prices. You're going
to... Hey, asshole, by the way, we don't need to produce more corn. We produce too much fucking corn. We produce so much corn, we had to make high fructose corn syrup to make it a viable product because corn grows pretty easily compared to a lot of other crops. Beats shit out of tomatoes, easier than fucking watermelons. It's certainly, more resilient than fruit trees most of the time and doesn't end up being suffering like wheat blight and all that shit. And it sucks sugar out of the fucking ground.
Lower prices in America on lots of different products.
Mr. I mean, right now we're seeing them effectively being locked out of a very large market, especially people like soybean farmers in China. But let me ask you about the constitutionality of these tariffs. As you know, the Constitution right there in Article 1, Section 8 makes it very clear that Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises. Congress has the power to impose tariffs, not the president. And the president has cited this 1977 emergency law that doesn't mention tariffs. This is a law about sanctions, about seizing foreign assets. So how concerned are you, and are you prepared to defend this in court? As you know, there's already at least one court challenge to the constitutionality of these tariffs.
The president knows the law. The
president barely can operate a golf cart. He does not know the law.
General counsels know the law.
Yeah, and they're telling him it's a loophole and it's temporary. And if you don't do all this all at once and it doesn't work immediately, You're going to end up in court by the end of the summer. You're going to lose, and then you'll never get it back.
Understand this, that Congress has passed laws that gave the president the ability to protect our national security.
In an emergency. We're not in an emergency, dummy. Everything isn't a fucking emergency. And this is, okay, this comes from, and this is, again, the importance of the word emergency, kids. A crisis is not an emergency, because a crisis is gradual and a multifaceted, difficult situation that you're in, and it builds over time, and it also ebbs over time with whatever solution you have. There's no immediate solution to a crisis. There could be like ceasefires and those kind of things, but there still have to be things worked out. You can pause things, but a crisis is a broader thing. An emergency is immediate. It emerges. That's where the fucking word comes from. It comes out of nowhere and hits you. And, emergency surgery isn't your knee's fucked up and you're going to have to get it looked at, or you're going to have trouble down the road. It's legally not an emergency. It can be a crisis. It can be difficult. It could even be, you could call it a disaster, but it's not an emergency. It didn't just happen overnight. Emergencies have to emerge quickly to qualify. China's a crisis. Yes, I agree. Manufacturing, lost jobs, whatever, is a crisis. AI and what it will do to, to employment and, idle hands is a crisis to some degree. You've got to pay attention to it. We are heading into a crisis if we don't manage it somehow. These fuckers have no idea how to handle it. None. Or interest. But what it isn't is an emergency.
We need to make medicine in America. If you don't...
Right. It's a great idea for safety's sake, long term. But we don't need to make it right fucking now because shots are fired. And if you think about it this way, the only way it can qualify as an emergency for real is if these motherfuckers are planning a war. It's an emergency because we can't do it right now, and we're planning to go to war with Iran in a month. That would be the only way they could define it as a fucking emergency.
Think that's national security. You're not thinking it through. We need to make semiconductors in America. We need steel and aluminum.
Right. But we don't need to do it in the next 6 weeks. We don't need to do it in the near future, a month from now, unless you motherfuckers are planning a war. A war, by the way, that will isolate us from the entire world, except Russia and Iran, I guess.
America. We need to manufacture in America. If we just run gigantic trade deficits and sell our soul to the rest of the world, eventually we are going to be the work.
Is there a soul trade going on? Soul trade. We aren't selling our souls, dum-dum.
For the rest of the world. We're going to be the thinker for the rest of the world, but they're going to manufacture.
You do realize that the manufacturer, like the workers, oftentimes are not the ones that get rich. It's the thinkers. It's the inventors, the developers, and if you're kind of extrapolating that over 8 billion people, the idea that there might be 320 million people who are in the thinking position as opposed to the manufacturing position might actually be a worthwhile goal. Because I will say one thing about the alleged upper 1 or the upper 10%, they have a lot more leisure time than I do.
Someday they say, gee, we're not sending it to you. We'll be nothing. So I think the president
will be nothing. Why? Because we won't have any European friends that'll go, hey, do you have any ibuprofen? Yeah, I've got like half a bottle. Does that get you through so you can make your own? Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. I'm gonna take 2 though, because I was laying one on last night. You wouldn't believe it.
has national security in mind, and he's here to protect America.
Let me guess, he's on it.
We need to reshore these things, and we all know it.
So
it is vital for us to reshore it, and we know it.
Mr. Secretary, we're really out of time, but a very quick question. How concerned are you about what's happening to the U.S. dollar? We have seen the dollar at having its worst week in 3 years. There are concerns about a weakening dollar because of all this uncertainty.
He wants the dollar weak, so the Fed has to lower interest rates.
How concerned are you about that?
I am not concerned about it.
He's concerned.
We are focused on our tariff policy.
Yeah, so I'm ignoring the dollar right now.
Focused. We have so many countries coming in to negotiate with us.
Name one. We have so many. One or two, right? You could just name one or two. Yeah? I'm just curious. What is it? Chad? The fuck McDonald's Islands, the Penguins have decided to, Jesus.
And has given us the ability, let's go get these great deals done. And we're on it, and the president's on it.
Yeah, he's on it. We're on it. Everybody's on it. What is it? It's an IED, actually. It's basically we've turned our economy into an improvised explosive device.
And we're really, really focused on delivering the best thing for the American people.
So you're resigning.
Right, Secretary Howard Lutnick, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time. I'm joined now by Secretary.
Wait, that did not go well. Like at the end of this like final.
It's on and has given us the ability, let's go get these great deals done. And we're on it, and the president's on it, and we're really, really focused on delivering the best thing for the American people.
All right, Secretary.
That is not the face of someone who thinks they stuck the landing. This dude ate shit pie with shit sauce, and no nuts for 17 minutes straight. They have no idea. None. It's really clear. And Lutnick was the bullhorn. Lutnick was the guy coming out there. He's the Stephen Miller of this bullshit. He's the one, like, Besson's like, well, we'll try some stuff. And if we don't try some stuff, we can try some stuff. And like, Lutnick was like, it's fucking shiny balls for everyone. We're just going to bring it out here now. His fucking giant capped teeth. And like, it's a great thing. It's a great day. Everything couldn't be greater, and it's great, and it's just all great. And then he comes on here, maybe not. There's a, I don't know, but what the fuck is wrong with you? Google. Hold on, I should probably. I don't know. Like when that's all you can manage as a smile, because you'll recall a week ago, this motherfucker was all grins everywhere. And this is all he can squeeze out this week. Now you know why I'm not really afraid of these fuckwads. P.S. Oh, by the way, hi, chat room. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc.